muted. Classic. How's it going, everybody? Moses here with a Titan Quest video. Lovely. I have been playing this game for about, I guess, a week and a half now. You know, I've been struggling finding games in recent times. Kind of got real tired with Path of Exile and got, just disgusted with Diablo. I just can't play Diablo games anymore, I think. And so this is a really nice oldie but a goodie, an ARPG. I made the video about it, I think maybe 6 years ago when I first played it on stream, maybe 5 years ago, like quite some time ago. But I decided to revisit it because, well, it's a pretty good game and I don't really remember the reason why I stopped. And also, it has now 2 expansions. That's right, so they keep updating it. Some rumors about something else coming into the game from what I hear from people. Not really sure about that. No huge announcement or anything. It's not a Blizzard game. But it is Titan Quest. Let's get into just this character. I am a complete noob. This is not where you want to, let's turn down the audio. This is not what you would call a build guide. I'm not in any position to guide anyone through this game. I pretty much know just the very, very basics. But this is a warrior. He's got a sword and he's, oh wow, these are new monsters. Look at these guys. I love the monsters animations in this game, and you know, the just like the way monsters move and the way monsters look and the way the environment looks, and just like everything feels pretty good to me. I really do enjoy it. So this is my warrior, now level 42, Act 5 in the, oh, I guess we're level 43, I just leveled up, lol. So, yeah, Act 5, this is the 5th act in the, it's called the Ragnarok expansion, right? So, all of this content, I've only played the game, I believe it was till Act 4 where you kill Hades. And everything from this point on is 100% new to me. So, there it is. I just wanted to start off the video by showing you some gameplay, so you'll see. Basically, it's a warrior. You know, it's a melee character. Oh, there's a boss monster here, and he's killing me. Oh wow. Yeah, let's get that. Stop insects. Is he summoning them? Oh, he's dead. So. Alright, so let's stop here for a second, since there are no more monsters. I think, well, there's this guy. And, okay, so there's a bunch of them. Yeah, so this guy is in fact a summoner. Alright, so let's stop here and take a look at this guy. I just leveled up. So in this game, you have your stat points. It's kind of like similar to Diablo 2, where you get stat points per level. You're getting 2 per level, but I'm not really sure how to distribute them at this point, so I've just been saving them until I need a certain piece of gear. And I don't know if there's a way to undo what you already did, so I don't want to screw this up too much. Not that it matters. This is kind of like my first character, and it's gonna get screwed either way. But you know, for as much as I can control it, I'm not touching the attribute points at this point in time. So you're getting 2 per level, and you're also getting, well, I guess I got a quest, because you're getting 3 skill points per level as well. I must have had a quest, because right now I have 4 skill points. In this game, you choose, I'm not going to explain everything, let's start with that. Just kind of like really the basics and what this character is about, because this game is quite vast. It has a lot of depth, there's a lot of mechanics, and I'm not really familiar with everything, not even close to everything. Like, I'm seriously just starting to learn about this game, and there's a lot to learn. So just like from what I know, let's kind of like try and give you like a preview of what's going on here. So yeah, so you start off you know, as anything, it's a classless game, and then you have to choose between different masteries, right? You have, I think, I'm not really sure, I think maybe 10 different masteries, right? So I picked Warfare and Defense, right? So I got like a straight up warrior. I got all the defensive stuff. I got all the warfare stuff. And let's go through a little bit the choices I made. First of all, I started with armor handling, reduces. I don't remember the order, but like reducing the requirement for armor. I maxed that out. It's only 6 points. Um, Requirement for armor and for shield, and increase the armor absorption. I went with battle awareness, which adds defensive ability and 44 armor. Defensive ability and offensive ability are basically two stats that your character has right here. They basically say what the chances for you to hit a monster and what chance there is for a monster to hit you, right? So that's basically what it means. The more you have, for example, when it goes against an enemy target, if your offensive ability substantially exceeds the monster's defensive ability, you will start critting. And from what I understand, you can only crit with melee hits, not with bows and not with spells, right? So only melee hits. So that's something to know. So yeah, offense and defensive ability. So I picked the battle awareness, which is kind of like a staple for the um, defense mastery, right? So it's like the core of the mastery itself. So a bunch of defensive ability, a whole bunch of armor. I'm going to talk about armor in a second. And then here we get some increased chance to block with shields. Perhaps I have 4 points, so perhaps we should just go ahead and max that out next time. I got an item that gives me +1 to all skills, so my actual maximum is 7, right? So next level I'm going to be able to max out focus. And over here we have all sorts of CC reduction for an additional reservation. So here we got like 10, 15, and what is it, 75, right? So it's 100 mana reserved. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So you reserve the mana, and then you have this aura of battle awareness. It's actually not an aura, it's a buff, and then you get all these passive bonuses, which is pretty great. Outside of that, I put a couple more points. Here, this is quick recovery. It's basically a skill that has a 20-second duration, 1-minute cooldown, that lets your increases your shield block and armor absorption, but also reduces your shield recovery time. So here, whenever you block a hit with a shield, you need to wait before you need to block the next one. You can't just continuously block hits like you could, based on chance to block. In Diablo 2, for example, you could stand there and consistently block hits. Here you have the chance, and once you block, you need to recover. You need that recovery time, and you can reduce it by items and stats, like here, for example, shield recovery time. Also, I got adrenaline and the buff to adrenaline that gives physical damage, bleed damage, and total speed. Adrenaline basically is a chance to be activated. It lasts 10 seconds and increases with skills, with skill points being allocated. Basically gives you, whenever you go, whenever you get hit, you have generous life regeneration buff, and during that time, it lasts for whatever seconds, and during that time you're also going to be getting the total speed, which is attack speed, move speed, cast speed, and a buff to your physical damage and bleed damage, but I'm mostly doing physical. Here is minus 30% chance for recharge, so that 30-second can actually go down even further, so we can actually do that, and boom, it's 18.6. So you can pretty much activate this skill pretty much all the time whenever it gets activated. So it can serve as a kind of like something that's up a lot of the time. Actually, yeah, let's cap this thing out. and we'll do focus next. Let's close that, and then that's basically what I have on my defense mastery. And of course, you have this bar. Whenever you're putting skills into this bar, you unlock the skills at the upper ranks of the tree. So yeah, it basically works just like Grim Dawn, right? This is the game that came out before Grim Dawn, and it is the same company. So there you go. Here is the Warfare. Warfare is the attack mastery. Basically here, our main skill here is Onslaught. Onslaught is the attack that you keep getting buffs per stack. So it has charges. The more enemies you hit, the successful hits increase that buff, and you have 9 charges, and each one gives you a damage bonus. And well, alongside with the rest of the buff, it grants you, here you get physical and pierce resistances, becoming more resilient. Here you got debuff to the monsters, which reduces their defensive ability, their armor, and slow down their movement speed, not attack speed, but still, it's really, really good. And here you're getting a buff for your character, which is, you know, movement speed and attack speed. So that's the main kind of like you know, skill in the Warfare mastery. And here we got Battle Rage with, again, the same mechanic of chance of activating, and when you end up activating it, you're getting a bunch of buffs. So first one is 46 flat damage and offensive ability, and the second one here, there's an additional chance when Battle Rage is getting activated, 25% chance to further increase the damage. Here we got an additional 15% chance for physical retaliation. Now, physical retaliation doesn't really do too much. I just put a point into it because, well, this buff is pretty much up all the time. And I don't really mind putting 1 point, getting that damage increase, and eventually maximum level is 80, and I'm only in normal. This is Act 5 normal, so once we finish this act, I'm going to start the next difficulty. So we still got plenty of levels, and we still got plenty of points to distribute, so I can only assume eventually we'll end up maxing this thing out. And over here we got a big buff to offensive ability and to our attack speed whenever we're using an axe, a club, or a sword, and we are using a sword. So these are the skills that I'm using right now. Also, I did forget, yes, this is a very, very strong skill, Battle Standard. It basically gives a duration buff to an area of effect, like when we drop this on the ground. We'll have this area of effect when we're going to be like super buffed, supercharged. We're going to get +1 to our all skills, a bunch of damage, damage reduction, additional offensive ability, and we're also going to get the debuff to the monsters with you know, physical damage, physical resist, and stun resist. So we're going to be able to you know, become more defensive while dealing more damage to the monsters. So this is an incredibly strong skill, just absolutely massive. And yeah, that's basically it. When it comes to my character, you have all sorts of resistances here. Your normal elemental resist, and then your pierce. Pierce is essentially everything that comes from arrows and swords, right? Or daggers, but not, you know, clubs, maces, and so on. Here you have your physical resist, which could include clubs, maces, and so on. Here you got your bleed resist. Some monsters have all sorts of bleeding attacks, poison resist, vitality resists, and then your CC, your slow, your trap resist, your energy leech resistance. Energy resist, basically some monsters have sometimes attacks that will rob you of your energy, will eliminate all your energy bar, and then you won't be able to reserve energy for your buffs and so on. So stuff like that. Here we got disruption, so whenever your sorcerer casts a spell, you have a chance to disrupt. Same kind of idea that goes for you also goes for the monster. You can also disrupt monsters from attacking, and so on. We have our stun, our freeze, our sleep, and petrification. So fear. I haven't been feared, at least I noticed, especially. Yeah. Also, we have, you know, the strongest monster killed, how many monsters we've killed, greatest damage dealt, so I guess in one hit. And then 1 day, 15 hours, and 10 minutes I spent playing this game with this character, and I died 5 times. So you have that forever listed on your character. And here, let's go through the gear. In this game, you have charms and essences. This is an essence, this is a charm, and you gotta collect, you know, here we have like 2 out of 5, here we got 1 out of 3, and you gotta collect these and combine them, and when you combine them, you can apply them then to an item, and you get a completion bonus, and you get all sorts of buffs. So when you see an item that has this little plus on the right hand side, see each one of my items currently, except this one, has a plus. That means this is enchanted with either a charm or an essence. So yeah, you got your you want as much armor as possible, you want resists, you want life, essentially you want attack speed, you want damage. These are the kind of things that you want, right? So also, this is kind of an old school game. There's no crit, like I said, so you can't have crit chance, crit damage, those kind of things. There's no you know, these days, for example, if we're thinking about games like Path of Exile, obviously the game is a lot more, you know, in depth than a game like this. Not that this has nothing to offer, obviously it does, and it has its own, you know, mechanics and intricacies, and it's its own world for sure. But you know, this is kind of like an old school game in the sense that you know, your damage scaling is going to be pretty straightforward. For example, if you're a warrior, you want flat damage, you want attack speed, and you're pretty good to go. That means if you want a weapon, you better choose a sword, because the attack speed is fast, and not like something like a mace or an axe that are going to be average and slow attack speeds, right? So you really kind of want as fast attacks as possible with your character, and you also want to increase that attack speed with items. Now, yeah. So, for example, right here, there's the Pang Claw, right? You see that Pang Claw? It's a complete monster charm. It adds 15 to 35 flat damage, and completion bonus is random. And it can run between several things. I got attack speed here, so that's an incredibly good, you know, charm to add on a weapon. It's probably the best charm for attack weapons. And you can farm these by killing pangs, and they drop the claws, right? And you know exactly for charms, you know, this is Demon's Blood. You need to kill demons to drop Demon's Blood. Here you got Bat Fangs, so you need to kill bats. Viney Growth, you need to kill plants. There's all sorts of different animals in this game. Vile Ichor, maggots, drop that. All sorts of monsters. Lupine Claw, you have your tigers, your Bengal tigers, your wolves, all sorts of, you know, beasts that drop these claws. Here you got these pristine plumage, all sorts of bird type creatures, harpies and such, drop those. Rigid carapace, and so on, cold essence. So you have all those things, and you know, you can farm using a strategy. There is, I'm going to show you, there is a you know, when you log into a game, there is a mechanic here. It's not really a waypoint, it's a Rebirth Fountain. A Rebirth Fountain does exactly what it's supposed to do. Whenever you log back in, you go back to your Rebirth Fountain, the most recent Rebirth Fountain you passed through or clicked, right? So if you click this, or the previous one, you can go back to previous Rebirth Fountains, and you can get there through waypoints, right? So you could drop a portal, for example, and go to whatever waypoint you have unlocked, right? So Hades, that's Act 5, or 4, sorry. You have Greece, you have Egypt, you have the Orient, Hades. Beautiful setting, by the way. You know, you see pyramid. It's really, really gorgeous. And then we're right now in the north, the Ragnarok expansion, so you can go to each waypoint, and then between waypoints you sometimes have several Rebirth Fountains. You can choose a specific spot to farm. So if, for example, you're in here and you want to kill, let's buff up with 7. So let's say you want cold essence, so you can just kill you know, water spirits. These water spirits are kind of annoying at this point, but you know, you can kill these water spirits and they may drop you know, they may drop this cold essence. That's what they usually, that's their item to drop, right? So you could like literally farm this spot now that you know that you, like, let's say you knew you had you know, some cold elementals here, or whatever they're called, and you can literally come back to this spot. See, there's a pack of like 5, buff up and kill them, and just farm the cold essence here until you get the drop that you want. And you can do that and leave game and come back to that particular spot, and that's kind of like how you farm things in this game. You just do these runs over and over. So that's pretty cool. Kind of you know, kind of like playing Diablo 2 and farming, you know, the keys, only without the annoying BattleNet's disconnections. So yeah, you can pretty much just do that, and the chances for these charms is pretty small. You sometimes going to have to do lots of runs to get, you know, these charms, but eventually, if you have a monster that you know drops a certain charm, they will drop it if you just kill it long enough, and then you can start stacking those, combining them, and hopefully get the completion bonus you want for your gear. For example, vitality damage resistance is pretty good. It's kind of hard to get specific resistances here, and sometimes you get like a charm that gives a whole bunch of life and some vitality damage resist, and that's my only vitality resist on my gear overall, right? So you can choose whatever, you know. Here we got some stun resist, energy leech resistance as completion bonuses, but you know, rigid carapace gives 20 pierce resist, and I could have farmed these to get a different you know, completion bonus and so on. So I think you get the idea. I really do strongly recommend you to check out this game. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's a great setting, and if you're looking for something to you know, to kill the time a little bit, and you're a bit bored with, you know, your conventional ARPGs, strongly recommended. You're not gonna be disappointed. Honestly, I think this game is extremely underrated. Seriously underrated game, and I don't know how it kind of like went past unnoticed all these years. Perhaps because no huge streamers are streaming it. Perhaps it doesn't have a Criterion to promote it. Perhaps it's not a Blizzard game attaching the Diablo franchise and what's the word I'm looking for? Glamour to it. But yeah, it's kind of an obscured game. But I can tell you, it starts out slow, it picks up pace, and you know, you got a whole bunch of gears, like 3 difficulties. It's it's a tough game. All right, so prepare yourself for that. And it's also very satisfying. So yeah, this is me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is kind of like a review, and I believe in the near future we might have several of these videos, and maybe I'll my plan is I kind of wanna complete the game in legendary difficulty. You got your normal, epic, and legendary, right? Your classic D2 clone. So normal, epic, and legendary. Hopefully I'll get to kill the game in legendary, complete all the content, and hopefully you know, I don't know about max level. It probably requires quite a lot of grind, but hopefully reach level 70 plus. Maximum is 80, and maybe we'll start a new character. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be playing from, well, 2 weeks ago on, and you guys are most welcome to join the streams. I'm gonna be right here. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.